Hello! I like this, like how like I decided to just scream, and Evelyn just kindly said "Buenos dias" like in the back. So we are going to go see Venom today. I'm very excited about it. Woo! Woo! And we're with our friend Evelyn.
Yay, Evelyn!
Yay!
Simmer down really quickly.
So we're gonna go to the theater. We're gonna get Taco Bell. We're gonna get Taco Bell first. Then we're gonna go to the theater. Then we're gonna go to the theater. Yeah, we're gonna. I wish.
Then we're gonna talk about Venom.
So how do you guys think it'll be?
I've heard like it might. I don't know if it'll be good, but I feel like it might be enjoyable, even if it's not good.
I agree. I actually really like Tom Hardy, so I'm interested. I think it'll be interesting.
I'm like the one Venom fan that I know who's is actually excited about Venom as a character, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel like the only criticism I'll have like coming out of it might be that like I don't understand why this had to be tied to like a franchise, but that's generally my question with things like this. But yeah, Charlie.
Knowing me, I don't think I'll like it.
That was very blunt.
Mic drop. Oh, I'm just a blunt person. What can I say?
All right, yeah, movie.
Shoot. I was just thinking how I like that door makes me feel like a jet elephant. I hope not.
Yay,
Natalie,
let's see if we
please
made
help
it.
us.
Yeah. I got dragged for my contraband, which is fine. Because, you know, it's a risk I'm willing to take.
It wasn't much of a drag. Anyway, hang on. I should look at the tickets that we have.
Oh my God.
9. That's good.
And so our friend Thrasher texted us.
This is Halloween.
Hey!
This is Halloween.
That was the worst pun I've ever heard in my life. Just kidding. Our friend Daniel Thrasher texted us, Charlie and I both today, about how dead inside the Grinch trailer he made him. Evelyn, do you have any thoughts?
On the Grinch?
Yeah.
On the plus side, I don't think I've seen anything about it, honestly.
Oof. Oh, wait.
Oh, what's cooking inside Venom's house?
Sorry.
Yeah, we saw Venom.
Yay, Venom.
Venom. Is how I feel.
You know, I thought that it was either too average. Okay, there were a couple grievances I had. I thought it was too average. I thought that there were like rules that were established but that weren't followed through. And all I wanted to know the whole time was what made Tom Hardy so important that he was the one who Venom decided to just stick around with and change. Because he just briefly mentions that he's the perfect host, but that's not good enough, movie.
He's Eddie Brock.
That's not good enough.
Eddie Brock
He's kind of a screw up too.
Yeah, literally. He's like your average bro. Like, it was just like, yeah, and then like there was a continuity error really early on that really just bothered me the whole film. So like he's talking to this little girl, like the one of the men, and he's like, oh, you know, people are just gonna shush your opinions, and like you have to be strong with your opinions, because you know they're checking the progressive boxes, and like and like he's like, here, take this pin, and then he gives her the pin he has on, and he's not wearing a pin anymore, and then in the next scene he's wearing the pin again, and I was like, how many people did this movie go through?
Yeah.
It's just the little things that are annoying, because it's like this is a big however many blockbuster movie, and like you're gonna have a continuity error like that in the first 5 minutes. Like, are you serious?
What did you think, Evelyn?
I thought that there was like I don't even know what you'd call it, like there was like an aspect of a decent movie buried somewhere in there, but I feel like it just the editing, like there were interesting characters, but everything was so like rushed and done so quickly that like we didn't really have a time to like settle into anything before like everything just happened.
Yeah.
And like even like I don't know, like I think we kind of disagreed on this in the theater, that I actually liked some of the like dialogue between Eddie and Venom. Like I feel like there's a formative buddy cop thing there. And,
Yeah.
like, if they would have, like, elaborated on that or something, or, like, just had more, like, I would say more character moments, but that didn't actually help, because, like, I don't know, just, like, spent more time on stuff. I feel like it could have been really fun. Like,
I agree. I agree.
I would echo that there were a few good moments in it, and that it was just the problem was that they were either underdeveloped or there's just too much space in between the good moments for it to like really keep me invested.
Yeah, I think two of the biggest problems were a combination of editing and scripting. Yeah.
You definitely, like, it kind of felt like they didn't know what they wanted to do. Like, someone got the script and they're like, okay, I'm going to do this, like, sort of dark movie about him having to deal with an alien taking over his body, and then the studio was like, no, but we need to make it fun and humorous like a superhero movie, because that's what Marvel's doing. And then, like, it kind of came out as the result of that.
Yeah, and Evelyn pointed this out in the theater. She said, why do all the Venoms have the same voice? It makes it so hard to differentiate. And, like, literally the final scene, I don't even know what's happening.
That got pretty
all the action scenes, like, I was like, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely felt that the script was incredibly cliche ridden.
Yeah.
Like, it was, it had a parasite, and that parasite was called, like, 101 screenplay.
At the beginning, it was so funny, because it's like he goes in and he's like, oh, this guy's a bad guy. And he's like, what's your evidence? What's your source? And he's like, oh, it's just a hunch. And then he goes, you're just too hard-hitting. You're fired. And we were like, he's fired? And then the next scene, his girlfriend's also fired, and we're like, his girlfriend's fired? What were you gonna say?
I was just like, there's nothing wrong with cliches, but you have to, like, add something to them at some point. Like,
it was never fun, for me at least.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was,
but only near, like, the end for me.
Like there were glimpses of fun. Like, I was like, oh, that could have been fun if there was more of that, but there's not, and it's like, it's just so by the numbers. It's like, it's really, really hard to care about Eddie.
I think Tom Hardy's a really good actor too, but it kind of like felt like we've talked about this problem a lot on the podcast before, but it just kind of feels like he showed up and they were like, you're Tom Hardy, just do whatever you want, you're such a good actor.
I thought that was the best part of the whole movie, was when Tom Hardy was just like, what if I just do like 5 different accents? And I just, like, kind of wig out, and I, like, jump into a tank full of lobsters. Like, anytime that it seemed like he was just, like, making weird choices because there was nobody to say no, because it's, like, Tom Hardy's the reason that they had, like, such a high budget for it, is because they got Tom Hardy, I feel like. Like, as much as Venom's a big property and they could have set a high budget because it's going to do well, Venom has a big enough fan base that, like, you know, people are relatively aware of it, even if, you know, they don't read comics. They know who Venom is, at least. So, like, the fact that he was there, I think it let him just do whatever he wanted, and that was more fun to me than if, you know, they had Boringson from Australia or something who, you know, just did whatever.
I didn't like it because I just felt bad, and I felt like Tom Hardy was underused, and I thought he could have had better direction.
Like, I thought he like all his choices to me kind of made sense. Like he was supposed to be either an awkward guy or a guy who's like losing control of his body and is not entirely sure why. And like, I thought it all made sense. It just, again, like we were talking about, there wasn't like context, so you kind of had to fill in the blanks for yourself.
Oh my god, yeah, I literally had to, like, in the middle be like, could somebody just give me a lowdown of the comic books, because I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like,
it felt like there was a real lack of consistency throughout the whole thing, especially Tom Hardy's performance, because I remember, like, parts of it, he feels kind of frenetic, or kind of, like, he based his performance off of something that's more druggy or alcohol based or something like that, or it felt like weird specific choices.
He gets really like sweaty then unsweaty.
But like
near the end, it felt like he was doing like a bad De Niro impression.
He had a little Pacino sometimes, like that part where she's like, they found the symbiotes and they're like in the elevator, and he's like, oh, you talking about aliens, like, oh, E.T. I'm like, what is going? What are you doing? It was hilarious though. It was the only thing that like kept my attention.
And it's just like awkward smiling the whole time. Like
it was, I don't know, it was pretty much exactly what I expected.
Like frustrated.
Yeah.
I felt like it's almost exactly what I expected.
I didn't know what to expect.
Like, I saw a lot of like fan art of this movie, and I wasn't sure why, and now I kind of get that it's like, I think it's a movie that appeals to the kind of person who like
there was one scene that really gave
Bring back sexy Venom.
Someone was like, oh my god, they drew Venom with big tits and a fat ass, we gotta get to the presses. I was like, call the Rule 34 boys, they're gonna have a field day.
Favorite part was Eminem's song at the end of the movie.
That was some fire right there.
I like the Run the Jewels song.
Fire, yeah.
Run the Jewels had a good song.
I didn't understand like the Sonic, the Spider-Man animated thing. I didn't get it. I was like, why am I watching this?
That's my favorite part of the whole movie.
In case you didn't like Venom, here's this other Spider-Man movie at different Sony studios working on.
It was like for me.
What? Like, why am I just suddenly watching a Gorillaz music video? Like,
it was something that was made just for me.
Yeah, I guess, but it was just okay, and it just didn't have any context for it. And I was like, I don't care about this.
That's always been my favorite thing. I keep cleaning the theaters after the show's over at work, and I always like watching it because it's really nice. Like, as far as the whole movie goes, I was pretty much flatlining the whole time, but I love that. No, go on.
I was gonna say, my favorite thing about that short is how they like intro it with "meanwhile in another universe." Like that feels like so like even they weren't that into the Venom movie. They're like, hey, let's look at something else.
There's another universe that you
listen, guys.
I don't care about this movie. Come check this out, guys.
Yeah, literally. I was like, when did this turn in? Like what? Like what? And then I never got a Venom will return, so
Well, we know
they had such a man.
I was like, well, first Charlie said it was Carrot Top, and I was like, oh my god, it does look like Carrot Top. And then it was like the Woody Harrelson reveal, and I was like, what are you doing in this, Woody?
I remember describing that after credit scene to Evelyn a little while ago, and like. It struck me so hard when I saw it the first time when I was like cleaning the theaters, because it's like Woody Harrelson's wearing like the worst wig I've ever seen. Yeah. Like in movies, wigs can be pretty bad, but it was like he looked like Sideshow Bob. You know what I mean? Like it was
not great.
It was so, and like he's just like, oh, can we skip the whole serial killer dialogue thing? And it's like, you have no right to be pointing out cliches and things and then keep doing them after the movie I just saw. And then he name drops Carnage right at the end, and you just like, I'm sure there's like a very vocal minority of fanboys that were into it, and they're like, I love Carnage, I want to see Carnage next.
And then you're like, yes.
Look, my friend Killian at work.
I'm a slut for Venom, even if like most Venom comics are not that good. So like I was ready for this.
I also like as like a person who wasn't like. I read like a bunch of Batman comics and that's it. Okay, I didn't read any other comics. So like ask me about anything else and I'm like, so like I'm just watching this scene and it's like there'll be carnage and I'm like, what the fuck? What does this mean? What's going on? I don't understand.
My friend from work, Killian, who really likes Carnage, described it to me best. He said that he hated it because it's like, I don't want Carnage in a different movie that I have to go see. I would have rather just seen Carnage in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I remember like seeing the news. They're like, "Oh, Woody Harrelson's cast in the Venom movie," and like people think he's playing Cletus Cassidy, and I'm like, "Oh, that'll be interesting." And then the trailers came out, and I'm like, "Oh, I guess he's not in this movie." And then they do that, and I'm like, "Okay, he could have just done things a little differently."
He got very high billing in the credits, though.
Oh my god! Right? Like
It's Woody Harrelson, though.
Like.
Academy Award nominated Woody Harrelson.
I don't know. It was just okay. Like the visual language wasn't very strong.
Oh,
like
the editing was so.
Like with the
hard.
visual language, it was like I wonder what will happen. like he has like this homeless friend because he's a nice man and he talks to homeless people. And so like way to show that he's a nice guy. So then like he goes past her spot again and like he doesn't acknowledge it, but like the camera just stays on where she was for an awkward amount of time. And it was like, why didn't you just have him point out that she wasn't there and then move on? Why did you have this like awkward like
I will say that I felt that the lighting was really good in it. So I thought the shots had a nice visual flair as far as the colors
there were some cool shots.
Oh my god, also really quick, the villain was the weakest character like ever. I don't know what it is with like superhero movies and having the first villain be so like weak, but like
Middle Eastern Elon Musk.
Yeah. And like it was just he was just so average.
He was the most cliche-ful character, where like every speech it was like segmented lines that are like, look up like the most common like tropes of villains to say, and he's all like, God said to Abraham, and he's all like we are destined for X, you know, like just line after line. It's like, this is the next leap forward, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, please. I miss the days of Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus.
You're just a non-believer who's trying to silence the whatever the crap he said.
Well, also, like, you know it's a problem, though, because anytime he was on screen, he was giving a monologue about, like, something that had to do with humankind.
Well, you can't write it naturally into his interactions with people that he's got a god complex. You just got to have him constantly talk about it.
He reminded me a lot of, like, Jesse Eisenberg in Batman vs. Superman, but not as good.
What do you mean, not as good? Whoa! Hot tea. Spill the tea.
Look, Jesse, you know, say what you want.
At least he was crazy.
Say what you want about Batman vs. Superman. Jesse Eisenberg is trying his hardest.
Speaking of bad wigs there.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god.
I honestly, I don't have that much else to say about
Venom. Me either.
It was just kind of like dull.
It was really, I was really hoping, like, and it was just like, it would have been fine if it was just average, but it was like Evelyn said, it was like slightly, like there was like, it was almost interesting.
It's like the, what do you call it? It's like the uncanny valley of averageness.
Yeah.
It's only, it could almost be average, but like that small difference just makes it feel
weird.
So much.
Yeah,
less,
and it's just like Tyra Banks, just like, I was rooting for you.
I don't know. I feel like.
If I would have seen this as like a weekend rental, like a free Redbox or something, I think I would have enjoyed it. Cause like, I don't know. Like, it feels like one of those kind of movies where, you don't watch because it's good, you watch because you're like, oh, look at this weird stuff.
I heard it described really well by Chapo Trap House, where they called it a Facebook movie. It's like a movie that people talk about on Facebook, where it's like really simple, like where they talk about the moral delineation between good and bad people, and it's like, it just sort of rushes through everything. It's not trying to get bogged down in details, it's just like trying to give you easy popcorn entertainment, and it's, you know, so it feels like something that, like, I'm not gonna be rude to the general audience, you know what I mean? Like, there's an 88% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Pretty much most of the people that I know that I work with that have seen it said that they liked it. A lot of people that leave the movie say that they like it. You know, it's
like, none of the people I follow for film reviews liked it, but
it's the sort of thing that I think people aren't expecting that much from it, and they're just getting something simple out of it.
But it's like, you can have popcorn entertainment that gives you more than this does.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand where people are coming from, that where, you know, it gives them what they're looking for, you know.
I guess.
Not in a demeaning way. It's just, you know, it's the type of movie that I feel like I knew even before I saw anything. Well, if you're a casual
viewer, you like it's fine.
No, I it's just the type of movie that before I saw anything about it, I knew that I wouldn't really get anything out of it. I didn't even want to see it because it's like, I don't know, you can usually just tell, and it's like, that's just a personal taste thing, really.
And like, you have a lot there to touch on, like, and go into, like.
What I was gonna say about like the fan art thing is I kind of see why there's like a lot of like comics and stuff talking about it, because I think this is definitely the kind of movie that appeals to people who kind of see a movie not for what it is but for what it like could have been.
That's the thing. That's like at the end, Charlie and I had a moment where like, so there's this, spoiler alert, there's this guy who keeps coming into the convenience store that Tom Hardy frequents, and he keeps threatening the woman and asking her for money, right? So like, the script should give me what that relationship is. Like, if that is going to be a deliberate focus upon thing, I should know why those two characters are having this interaction. I should know what happened for this to happen. But it doesn't give me that, right? And so I'm like, why is this happening? And Charlie goes, oh, no, it's a mob boss collecting his funds. Which, yes, it probably is. But I'm not going to make that decision for the script because they were too lazy to not write that in.
Yeah, like, a lot of fan fiction.
Yeah, and it really annoys me.
A lot of fan fiction people, you know, the fans on the internet, you know, they're more creative than, like, the screenplay writer. Mm-hmm. And, like, so they put their creative energy and their own personal thing into, you know, these making extra life into like a universe that maybe other people aren't putting details in there, so they put them in themselves. And it's like, I don't know, I can appreciate that, but as far as this movie goes, it just felt kind of lazy, and you know, that's pretty much the end of the day. You know, I give it a possible bargain bin.
I give it a bargain bin.
Yeah, I think, like I said, weekend rental.
All right.
Yes. So next, we are going to be seeing. I almost said The Road to El Dorado. That's not it.
The Road to the El Royale. I love that movie.
We're going to be watching Bad Times at the El Royale next, so keep a lookout for that.
I'm excited for that one.
The found footage episode released yesterday, so go ahead and give that a look. And then we have a lot of scary, spooky videos coming out for Halloween. We have a big Halloween special. I'm excited about that.
Yes.
And
we have the live stream.
Yeah, and the live stream for Halloween, but we'll go into more of that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll disseminate the information.
But yes. Goodbye, everybody. Au revoir.
Oh, goodbye.
This
has been Evelyn. She's been... His endocrine system... Is his heart's got a... Venom goes into a dog.
You could just switch.
It walks around in a dog, and it walks around in a little girl that's just like...
You could just switch to any host at any time. Yeah, but you are the perfect host.
When it switches into Eddie...
I'm starting to like you.
Eddie gets to have agency and do whatever he wants, but anybody else that has a Venom in him is just like Terminator vision, like turning their whole body to look at things and stuff because the symbiote's in control. Anyway...
Charlie ended the video really fast, so Evelyn, tell them where they can find you.
EV Override on YouTube. It's like the search metrics are weird, but EV Override, that's...
She'll be in the description box. Anywhere else?
There's also an Evelyn Smith channel for random short film stuff, which will hopefully get updated a little more in the coming months. So,
would you like to give them your address?
Yay, Evelyn!
I can't remember my address because it's like one of those garble ones because I'm not like important enough to get the like simple YouTube address thingies.
No, I meant your address, like your home address.
Social security number, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, bye everyone. Bye.